actually, none of us standing here is old enough to experience war. Anybody? I guess not. But my parents actually went through both World War I and World War II. Okay, so I wasn't old enough to be in a war, but you know, mom and dad used to tell us stories. And during, you know, difficult times, people actually have a small head and a big heart. They actually share things. They share food. They didn't have a lot of food, but they had to share it, right? They share clothing. They share medicine. They share tips. The tips being that, meaning that, you know, hey, don't go to that street corner, right? There's some Japanese soldiers there, and they're looking for beautiful women. So they share tips. And the most important thing is they actually share emotions. People, you know, with little resources, but they share. They share, right? And a good heart, you know, kindness, love, caring. Then fast forward to the present days. Now we know what we're doing on the Chao Lao Hama. You know, we buy flats, you know, we buy properties, and we flip them, and we put money into products, you know, called investments. Now you guys know what happened, you know, a month ago, 2 months ago. 20-some students actually, you know, resorted to taking to the end of the road, right? University students, and one as young as 10 years old. And that is a result of this time of accumulating investing. And people become so self-centered and so selfish. They're not sharing. How you can actually help your fellow students? If you see someone in trouble, open up your arms, extend a hand, give them a listening ear, you know, listen to the problems, buy him a coffee, and just talk about things. Okay? And we, Small Talk Circles, we're doing similar things. And Monday, this coming Monday, next week Monday, we will post a program on Facebook and Instagram about how we can actually go and help these people in trouble, emotional problems. We will invite secondary school students and university students. This is not online, you know, we don't like online because you talk about the screen, talk about the machine. This is real life. We will buy them breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So, the trouble kid, all he has to do or she has to do is just click, I want breakfast or lunch or dinner, you know, which this will cost maybe or Bhutan. And in a time, you know, he or she is available. And we will have a university student go down there to meet him or her and buy her a meal. Okay? This is what I call a hand-holding exercise. We don't do anything, we just want to listen to the problems, have a little ear, a little eye, a little heart, and that's all we do. Okay? And one thing I want to tell you tonight is if you know someone who's actually in trouble, obviously university level, right? And please let us know. Okay? We will be so happy to come in, jump in, to do something about it.
This is a very creative mic stand. Probably the most creative one I've ever seen. So thank you, Phil, for that introduction, and hello, everyone. You don't have to know me. You just have to love doing social things and social good. In the last 20 years, I've been an elected councillor of the Urban Council, an elected councillor of the District Council, and I stopped after 15 years because I think that it's very difficult to change society within the system. So I decided to be an entrepreneur. I started a school, the School of Creativity. This is the only high school in Hong Kong that nurtures creative talents. There are lots of students, I'm sure some of them are your friends. They are really good in music, they're good in drama, they're good at doing animation, they're doing video, and they are really great in doing all these things, but they might not be academically sound as you, right? And in a secondary school setting, they are really despised and looked down on. Oh, you're no good. You'll be a beggar when you grow up. But now with the creative industries, there are really good career prospects for these creative people. The Make a Difference platform is not just a local platform, but it's a regional Asian platform. We have got an annual forum each year attended by 1,300 young people from 20 countries. All of these people, I call them change makers. They aspire to change the world. They have got great ideas. They might be entrepreneurs, they might be innovators, they want to have a startup of their own, and they want to create a social project that would probably improve people's lives. So I support these people by networking them. Let me just take a poll. How many of you would like to start your own business one day? Oh, actually feel this is actually not bad, you know.
Very good.
That's pretty good, because I did this about 5 years ago to a group of people a bit younger than you, the Hong Kong Federation of Youth Groups. I was a speaker, and I asked the same question, and I think 1/10 of the people were courageous enough to raise their hands. And after they raised their hands, the others was ha ha ha, like that. Okay? Being entrepreneur is not easy. Being entrepreneur is actually very risky. So, but I'm so glad the entrepreneurial spirit is back in Hong Kong, as I can see from all these hands. Has anyone heard of the sharing economy?
Yes.
Yes, okay, very good. I'm quite sure that if I ask you to give me one example, you say Uber, right? And the next example will be Airbnb, right? Can you give me a third example? What was the third example? Yeah.
Pay forward by Starbucks, so you pay for the customer.
Yeah, suspended coupons, right? Yeah, so that's sharing economy as well. I like this concept not just because of the economic value, but I look at it from the cultural and probably more social perspective of sharing economy. And I would like to tell you that I think sharing is a very natural thing. Sharing is a reasonable and a sustainable way of living. With the internet, sharing is now easier. So 100 years ago, sharing, you had to knock on the door and you borrow soy sauce. That's what my grandmother told me, that she used to do that, to borrow soy sauce. But now sharing, you can use it with an app. You know, you can have sharing economy through an app. And sharing makes sense because it's affordable, it's green, and you get to know a lot of people if you embrace the sharing economy. And it is also, to me, it is about maximization of vital resources. In Hong Kong, there's a new sharing app, which I like. It's called Possible. It is spelled P-A-W-S-I-B-L-E. A big problem of dog owners is that, you know, who will take care of the dog if you take a holiday? So you send it to your friend or your parents or your neighbors, but still you are really concerned about your dog. Nobody will love your dog. So on the Possible website, it will also be an app soon. Other dog lovers will say, I can take care of your dog. So it is an Airbnb for dogs. I like sharing economy apps that are really about trust. In this world where it's cold and people feel alienated, they don't feel loved, sharing economy is actually something that could connect two strangers. Now, I started the Good Lab. The Good Lab, as I said, is a co-working space, and co-working is a sharing concept. Everybody shares. You're not competitors, you're friends. So it doesn't matter, because some people will say, oh, you have an open plan, you know, somebody sits here, somebody sits there, and you're trying to cook up your own startup. What if he steals my idea and he steals my idea? I'm sure it doesn't happen like that. In Good Lab, so people sit together at lunch, and they'll share, oh, what are you working on? And then all of a sudden they realize that there are common interests and common themes in their work. And suddenly they became partners, and their startup became better. And one idea of sharing that came up, and they're now in Cyberport, they received some $100,000 or $200,000 of funding, is called venue.hk. You know, a lot of people like to have a party of some kind, or a small meetup, or your social group wants a meeting place. Phil can find a place like this, fantastic space. But you know, not all spaces are, you don't know when is the space available. So you check that app, and then you can rent that space. Lately, we are interested in one idea, and that's co-housing. So what is co-housing? It's not cohabiting. It's not living together. It's not that, okay? In Taiwan, you know, a number of young people have been experimenting on this new and innovative kind of startup. They rented 5 flats together. like about 10 people. And they share the expenses of different flats. They turn the flats with different business models. So during the day, when you're at school or at work, the living room of that apartment became a co-working space. And at dinner, they invite nice chefs to cook up a private dinner, a 私房菜, for guests. And if there's a spare bed somewhere, they'll rent it to the exchange student who needs a bed space for a few days. So in fact, a residential unit became a business model. And this co-housing worked because it reduced their rent, so they can rent in a decent apartment with an interesting business model, and they made a lot of new friends. I'm not sure whether Hong Kong can do that. I'm now pushing these young people to think about co-housing ideas, and hopefully we can see some new ideas emerging quite soon. The Hong Kong government, they don't really understand sharing economy yet. The Uber taxi drivers were arrested all of a sudden, right? And so that was an overreaction, I think. But not far from us, in Seoul, do we have a Korean here in this room? Oh, wow.
Korean young ladies here.
So in Seoul, Mayor Park Won-soon was elected in 2012, and he became a sharing mayor. He said the city of Seoul should be a sharing city. Now, what does that mean? He has formulated policies to encourage sharing. So one thing he has done, which I think is remarkable, is that, oh, my government has so many car parks in the government buildings. I'll release all these car parks for the citizens. So at night, if you don't have any place to park your car, you can come and park at the mayor's car park. And that is why in Seoul, a lot of car sharing app took off because because of these free car park spaces. And in each community, he has started 2 libraries. So not only books, the libraries have books obviously, but 2 libraries. So if you want a power drill, I mean, buying one is not that expensive, but you don't want to spend that money because it probably will be another 2 years that you won't touch that drill, right? So you go to the tools library and you just borrow that and you can return it. But that, in the meantime, Hong Kong, we're just starting to learn about sharing economy. I think it has got great potential, not only in transport, not only in hotel or Airbnb, but in the day-to-day life, in the communities. So back to the sharing culture that our older generation has experienced 100 years ago, let's bring that back. Let's bring back the sharing spirit, and perhaps you can also integrate that with a startup and make a bit of money out of that as well. If there are questions, I'm quite happy to take a couple of questions on sharing economy or on social entrepreneurship.
Okay, my question is, can business sector contribute to sharing economy as well?
Absolutely. Let me just take a quick example. If you're running a supermarket, now we have supermarkets who are sharing their surplus food with charities who will then donate or turn the food into good meals to the underprivileged groups. I know that in New Haven in Connecticut, insurance companies, they share their skills and know-how. So New Haven is actually has a big wealth gap. So there is a community with a lot of poor people. So these insurance executives, they go to the schools, they share their time and their skills and help those high school kids get better grades.
According to your experience, you have engaged in various fields like politics, education, culture, and so many social works. So I wonder, how can you handle your time and how can you balance your life and work? Thank you.
I don't consider that work because if you're an entrepreneur, it's part of your life. And I think at my age, I still like doing the legal work, but I think that Hong Kong also needs a lot of people, from the community angle, from bottom up, doing things as much as they can, doing what you can do to improve livelihood, to improve people's lives. In Hong Kong, there's a really, really big gap between the haves and the have-nots. If you don't feel it, just walk in Shanshoupo and see how the old people, how they wait for the food to be distributed to them. You will see that it's actually, the gap is there, it's actually sometimes quite ugly.
You're talking about sharing business is awesome and have social goods and economic goods. But I want to ask, how do you think we can bring back or to establish the trust in Hong Kong society? Thank you.
You need to take the first step. I know a young person, probably same age or a little bit older than you. He started something called Around.com. It's a sharing app. It's a social media for neighbors. So just for example, if you live in Meifu Sanchun in Meifu, you don't know who your neighbors are. But through that app, if the people in Meifu register and use the app, you can probably find a neighbor who can take care of your kid. You can find a neighbor who can teach your kid English. You can organize a toy swap, at the community center of your community of your neighborhood, and you can do a lot of things to share information, to share skills, to share knowledge, to really share stuff. Let me give you one last example from Seoul, which I like very much. In Seoul, there's an eating app. So if you are, let's say you're a banker, you're single, you're not married yet, you live alone. So after a long day's work, you want a home-cooked meal. Where do you go to? In Hong Kong, you just dream about a home-cooked meal, but you go to 7-Eleven and you buy a bo zai, and you go back to your home and you ding your microwave, that like a TV dinner, right? So, but in Korea, there's an app. It's a neighborhood app as well. A sharing app, and you will see a list of people who said, I've cooked this with a photograph, I've cooked this tonight, do you want to come and eat with me? And the dinner could be like as low as Hong Kong dollars, $50 or $60. And sometimes they're old people, sometimes the family of 4, they just want to cook a little bit more, they see who's coming, right? So that person will sign up and say, I'm coming, and then they'll knock on the door, say, hi, I'm so-and-so, and sit down, have dinner, pay the host. The thing is not the dinner itself. The thing is about trust, it's about friendship. Technology is cold and inhuman, but I think what is fascinating to me with these sharing apps is that it brings back a lot of humanity and a lot of warmth. And I think you should always remember that. Okay, thank you.
Your name, sir?
My name is Gabriel.
Gabriel.
Call me Gab.
Yeah? What do you do, Gabriel? Teaching assistant. What do you teach, right?
Oh, I don't teach, I just assist.